Hiya. Last episode I talked about building your inner empire, carving out yourself and anchoring your soul in this life and reality. I also mentioned soul-led agency briefly. This episode I want to expand my vision a little bit and go into how I weave my soul's guidance and qualities into my daily life, and I will be quite practical this time, focusing less on the theory and more on how you can start with this today. So before I talk about one of my favorite practices for conscious life creation, which is vision boarding as a practice, I will share a few ideas from my master's thesis that I extracted from some of the more interesting life experiences that people have that go into synchronicities, soul's guidance, and communication. So some of the themes that emerged from my research about soul that I collated are: 1. Soul as a context and a compass. The soul is a data bank of experience and wisdom, which is guiding and attracting us towards our unique socio-ecological niche through feelings of home, meaning, and fitness. And for that, it generates synchronicities and felt meaningful connections, insights and recognitions, where people, places, and ideas serve as kind of beacons or sparks to these. Another way to think about this is that our soul has scattered these puzzle pieces of ourself that we are trying to piece together, and different people, places, and ideas hold pieces of this puzzle, and each time we meet these people, places, and ideas, we get a piece of our puzzle back, and a new picture of us unlocks, or even more precisely, we remember that part of ourselves. And second soul notion is that soul is a catalyst for transformation. That means that the soul attracts us to challenges that catalyze our healing and growth. It acts as a sort of invisible blueprint or an aligning force that shows us our inconsistencies, imperfections, and our shadows. But we must be willing to do the work necessary and have the courage to allow ourselves to change. And third, soul as the source of love and creativity. I have talked about creativity before, but in short, soul guides us to our greater potential through creative impulses, ideas, visions, and also making us fall in love with certain things, places, people, and ideas. So in short, I call these soul notions, which are basically ideas about the soul. And these ones that I mentioned are the more simpler, universal, and practical ones that I heard about and saw in my own life through research. There is this sort of generator and resonance detector built into us, which is symbolized by the golden thread in many stories and myths and religion that leads us back into wholeness. So now I will show you my last vision board and a model that I use for it, and how these soul notions map onto it. So here is the vision board, and sorry if it's a bit packed, it won't click with you because this is my personal life and story, but I will use it to explain some of the ideas and models that I use that could be useful for you. So first, in the middle, this is this bundle of light, this kind of intuition and compass that for me is the center of my discernment and guidance. And before I had this image of light here, I actually had an image of heart and the compass. And the compass, these four arrows, these still symbolize the compass. So the four sectors and then functions for this vision board that I call the ABCD model, just because it's this acronym, because this is so simple and easy to memorize. So B means be, BE, so being, and that's for me presence, silence, stillness, and a way of being. And I have these kind of images around here that for me help to symbolize that. So that's the top one is for kind of meditation, and then the man is faceless because ideally in that state it's kind of an egoless state. You don't have an identity, it's just pure being. That's the ideal to aspire to in meditation. And this over here for me is training and energetics, is how to cultivate, this deeper quality of presence and perception. And this for me is a symbol, there's these codes. There are these codes on the body, which for me symbolize the wisdom of the body, this fortress, this temple that I carry around that has so much wisdom built into it. And this symbolizes embodiment for me. So this is being. Then on the opposite of that is creation. So if being is kind of being still and inactive, then creation is the opposite. It's the act of creating. It's what we do in the world. It's what we construct and also the adventures that we take. So being, creating, discovering, and appreciating. So discovering is also what I want to learn, but not only through books and schools and courses, but also what I want to learn about the world. It's different cultures, it's different places, different people, what I want to discover through this life. And appreciating, the last one, this is kind of celebration and integration. What makes me thankful in this life, what makes me content, what makes me feel fulfilled. What do I appreciate, what do I want to celebrate in this life and the world. And see, again, this is what do I want to create? What do I want to make in this world? So this, in short, is my ABCD model. This basically arose when I thought about life and, what does life consist of? What do I do in reality and in life as an agent? And these are kind of the functions I found for myself, which is just, being itself, perceiving and existing. Creating is a major category. What do I want to make in this world? Discovering is what I want to discover and learn about this. And appreciating, celebrating, this is kind of taking a moment to take all of this in. Maybe even a bit of hedonism, but more about celebrating. And this is kind of a quality that I try to carry in my life that has been a bit lost in the Western world, I would say. So, and in this ABCD model, these 4 create kind of sectors on the vision board for me. So this is the being sector, this is the learning sector, this is the creating sector, and finally this celebrating sector. And I try to lay out, different symbols, different images, people, places, photos that I have that for me capture, the feelings and memories that I want to, embody and want to prolong and feel again, the kind of memories I want to create and the visions that I want to manifest. So in a sense, these soul notions, so the first one, the context and the compass. So through these 4 sectors, I try to build an anchor for my reality, for my, behavior and action of what gives me this feeling of home and fulfillment. What are these activities and these places and people and maybe symbols that for me create this environment where I want to be in. And also the compass, these images, these feelings, intuitions, they all symbolize for me, where I'm moving. They help give me direction. So that's how the first soul notion maps onto this vision board. Through all of these images, I take direction and discernment. Secondly, catalyst for transformation. So also through these items on the vision board, I try to map out who I want to become. Not only what life I want to build, but who I want to be. So for example, on the being side, I have these images and then practices actually even on the celebration side as well, that what kind of energy, what kind of feelings do I want to embody and grow into certain qualities of being, as well, even in the creation side as well. What kind of activities do I want to surround myself that would transform me? All of these, and also as the source of love and creativity, I try to, well, first of all, how I want to express love, or what makes me feel and express love, but also what I love, what I love doing, nature and traveling and learning and helping others, communicating and communing with others. So I have all of these things on the board, as well as the source of creativity. I try to include what inspires me, where do I get my inspiration from. So all of these, again, this one and this one, these ones, these are also all kind of symbols for me that inspire me and drive me forward and spark creativity and love for me. So that's kind of how soul notions are mapping onto the board. But also this vision board itself, I take this as a practice, because for me the vision board isn't just a collage of our whims and wishes, or some dream objects, or even kind of a small snapshot of my life story, which it also is, which is also nice. But it's a living tapestry of memory and creation and struggle and self-alchemy and manifestation. So doing this regularly, these vision boards, creating them, updating them, integrating them into my life, is one part of soul-led agency and in practice. So this is something that I want to give to others, something that I want to teach. This is something that I'm actually creating a workshop around, is how to take this very simple thing that many of us do, vision boarding, but make this sort of a deeper spiritual and psychological, alchemical practice of creation, life creation and self-creation. Really carving ourselves out, really manifesting the lives that we want to, and doing this in a conscious manner, but through kind of a embodied and symbolic practice, instead of just planning step by step, because these images, they hold so much more information than just words or just written down wishes. So I hope this helped you. I hope I took you a little bit deeper into how I consciously create my own life and what I mean by soul-led agency. I take my direction, I take my inspiration and train my intuition from a deeper way of being, a deeper way of informing myself and my decisions. Again, thanks. Let me know if that clicked for you, and hope to see you in the next one. Bye.